everyone, thanks for checking out the CB vlog here on YouTube. You know what to do. Hit subscribe if you want to help us out a little bit. Leave a comment. All that's super helpful. If you want to go the extra mile, though, check out patreon.com/commandersbrew. You can help make the show directly with your donations and then get in on our Discord and help us brew decks. It's a lot of fun, honestly. Check it out. Patreon.com/commandersbrew. There's other perks as well. But let's get into our topic for the vlog today. This is a good one.
Yeah, I want to pose the question to the listeners, to the viewers. When do you use your stuff?
A very open-ended question here.
When do you use your stuff? I want to bring up the philosophical idea that I like to describe called the sticker problem.
Okay.
Were you a person that in your youth, whenever you got a sticker, you were like, ooh, I don't want to stick this on something because that might not be where I want this sticker to live forever. So I'm going to leave it on the regular back. It's not going to be a sticker. It's just a picture on a piece of paper until you use it as a sticker and until I find the right use. But then maybe one day you lose it or it's gone and you never did get the benefit of that sticker because you were waiting too long for it. So we call that the sticker dilemma. Do you experience this ever, Andy?
Yeah, a bit of indecisiveness in there, but also just like not wanting to use it up because once you've used it up, you can't use it anymore. There's also a bit of that in there as well, right? So
yeah, the sticker problem.
The sticker problem is a good one. Side note, I always I loved stickers as a kid, as I think we all did. But yeah. I was never a person who had a sticker book because I always thought it was weird to just like, okay, I got my sticker. I was going to put it on this blank piece of paper with all these other stickers. So I was like, I wanted to put my stickers on stuff. Anyways, not related. Yes, I've of course experienced this before where you had like, you have something, but you just can't decide like when and where to use it essentially, right? Like that's essentially what we're talking about here.
Yeah, so I want to kind of translate that idea into playing Commander. We all know that removal spells are generally sort of card disadvantage, right? Like a 1-for-1 removal is card disadvantage because I spend a card to get rid of your one card, but we have two other opponents, presumably, who are each up a card.
They remain even in the transaction.
Yeah,
therefore
they've not spent any cards, right? So that's kind of bad, but obviously we run removal because there's some things that need to get removed. So I want to just let's just open the dialogue. Let's just start thinking about when we use our stuff. So incident 1. What if you're holding a counterspell and someone is attempting to resolve a tutor? Like they're like, I'm trying to put this tutor on the stack and you've got a counterspell. What do you do?
Well, I think in general, I wait to see, like, I'm not going to counter their tutor. I'm going to counter the thing they get with their tutor.
Well, okay, but there's some nuance here because you don't know what they're getting with the tutor.
Right.
And there are definitely cards that are like, this spell can't be countered. We know what colors those are in and the likely ones likely to show up, but you might not have an opportunity to counter the thing that comes up when it does come up.
And you might make and I guess the value, like, also in general, this whole topic is like a search for value, right? So like when you put your sticker on something, you're hoping to get value out of it because you're like, my sticker is on my, like, the front of my binder where I'm going to look at it every day and it's great.
And you feel great. Every time every time science begins, you get to see Darkwing Duck and you feel great.
Exactly. There's your value, right? So same thing with using our removal spell. We want to use it in the way that gives us the most value, that makes us feel the best about using it. So does it feel good to use it on a tutor when you don't even know what they're going to do? Also, just examining the feels of it? No. But the value comes in and it's like, well, if they tutor for like who knows? Maybe they're on mana trouble. Maybe they tutor for like a mana, like a ramp spell. It's like, I'm not going to counter a ramp spell. But obviously, if you're in a different point in the game where it's like, are they tutoring for something that's going to make them win? At that point, maybe it is just better to counter the tutor.
Yeah, give them the chance to grab it. Expect them to just draw it themselves. Like, put them on the just luck as opposed to choosing.
Yeah.
What about this? How does this change if the counterspell you're holding is a bit conditional, like a swan song?
I think you definitely use it on the tutor at that point. If you're at the point where you're worried about something that this player could do, if you're like not worried and you think you're up ahead enough, and like you don't like there's only a few answers, like you don't think there's really that many things that they could get, which is I think is what we kind of end up talking ourselves into, and was like, well, then we'll just wait and see, you know.
We'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see. But like if it's a swan song or something else like that, like that's a tougher choice.
Like a negate, maybe a negate.
Yeah, well, yeah, negate. Like negate's a good one because I include negate in most of my blue decks. Because generally speaking, I want to use it for stuff like board wipes and
other removal.
Like creatures. There's other ways to deal with creatures, right? But some things you can't. So, yeah, using my negate there, I would. I'd have to wait.
Tough.
I'd have to wait, I think.
You have to wait.
Unless it's against something where I know it's like, okay, they're going to find a creature and they're going to kill me with like a crater hoof or something. Like I'll negate the tutor at that point. But yeah, I think in general I'm waiting.
Okay, good. A new scenario. It's no longer a tutor. You're holding a negate, and your opponent resolves a spell. Let's say it's like an Into the Story with a bunch of stuff in the graveyard. So they're about to draw 4 cards.
The card draw thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm hardly ever countering a card draw spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hardly ever, because there's even more chance of them drawing something that's not even like relevant, right? If they draw 4 lands, right? If they draw 2 lands and like some small creature and something else that's like not super significant, like at least then the most significant thing you'll be able to at least suss it out a little bit. If they then play a land and then they play a spell that you're like, well, I don't really care about that, then I'm not going to, obviously it's like, I'm not going to use my negate for that.
Right. But I mean, that's this turn, but like you've potentially put a lot of gas in their hands that they might have 4 new negate worthy targets.
True. Absolutely true. And you, again, may not actually get to decide on what's the most relevant for you because they might play the 3rd best spell or the 2nd best spell that they have. And then you're like, ooh, I can't let that resolve. And then they play the big, the big threat, right? So
yeah,
it's tough.
It's tough, right? Like counter spells as stickers, like they're pretty specific because you can't just use them whenever you want. Like you have to use them when a spell is on the stack, right?
Right.
So let's shift the conversation a little bit. Let's change the rules a little bit. What if instead of a counter spell, what if you have like a piece of removal? Let's say you have like a piece of artifact removal. I'm going to say Ancient Grudge, the one that flashes back. It's like red on the front, green on the back, and you can flash it back to destroy an artifact.
Okay.
So your opponent puts a Skull Clamp down early. It's early in the game. They got a Skull Clamp. You've got an Ancient Grudge. Are you Ancient Grudging it?
Not right away, because Ancient Grudge is as long as it's an instant speed spell, which I believe it is.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait on that for sure.
Because you can get it before they get value.
I can get it before they get value, yeah. And if I think they're a big threat, like if they're not out to a good lead, then like, maybe I'll still even wait a bit. Let them get a few cards off of it. That's fine.
Okay. But what if now again, this is just evaluating stickers. So here, this is really a sticker to you. It's like, I don't want to put this sticker down. I want to wait until I have a better thing to put my sticker on.
Right, exactly.
What if they're an artifact deck, though?
I mean, Skull Clamp is a really good thing to put a sticker on in like removing it. It's one of the best things. So, if there's something a little lower than that, then definitely. But you do want to save it for when it's the best and when it's the most relevant.
Also, it just occurred to me, motion to change the name from I'm going to destroy that to I'm going to put a sticker on this.
I'm going to put a sticker on that? What do you mean? It's destroyed. What? What's the connection there?
I spent my sticker on it.
Yeah, just leave them really guessing about what you're even talking about.
Yeah, put a sticker on it. Okay, so now, changing it again, though. But, so that's very specific. That's Ancient Grudge. Mm-hmm. What if you've got Anguished Unmaking? That's a spell that can tag
permanents.
Anything.
Yeah.
You can get any permanent with that one. Non-land?
I believe it's non-land, yes.
So anything but non-land. But still, like, a Skull Clamp's a great target. But now, any enchantment, any planeswalker, any creature, like, you've got tons of option. When do you play that one out?
Those are always tough to me. Those are the ones I usually say for tough to deal with permanents like enchantments, or yes, sometimes planeswalkers can be tough to deal with because you don't have the right attacks, right? Yeah, so yeah, it's tough to choose, but generally right? You know when something is is the biggest threat. It's tough though to identify when something like a skull clamp is giving them too much value from like cards versus the things they're actually playing from that card draw. So like, do you take care of the mind's dilation? Although I guess that's kind of a similar thing. Let's say it's like I don't know. What's the red thing that when creatures come in it destroys stuff? Or it deals damage.
Warstorm Surge?
Yeah, it's like sometimes in the right deck, Warstorm Surge is like the craziest threat that they could have, let's just say.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you use it on the card draw thing that's generating them value, or do you use it on the Warstorm Surge? Like, the Warstorm Surge is what's killing you, but so is the fact that they're drawing all these cards. That's what's tough for me to analyze. Like,
Yes.
and it's like, it's almost better to use your stuff early, like you're saying, like, do I destroy that Skull Clamp right away?
And just hope they don't draw their Warstorm
it's like,
Surge
yes,
with their draws.
Exactly. You're going to get luckier that way because you're denying them a lot of card draw. But then the other thing comes in is like, do you want to be the policeman? Do you want to be the person who's spending their cards, dealing with threats? It's like, oof, man, I don't know.
Well, and like, I think Skull Clamps is an interesting point too, because like, this discussion gets very open. There's so many hypotheticals that we can't possibly get into, but like, because the millions of factors come into play. It's impossible to know if you're doing the right decision.
Yeah. Every instance of this decision has a million like different things.
It depends on what's in your hand. It depends what else is on the board. It depends who their commander is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you have at? What's your mana situation like? Blah blah blah. So on and so forth.
And so I think so just let's ask a very general question. Do you use a sticker on a part of a known engine or a wicked threat?
Interesting. So
the engine itself doesn't do anything to you, but you know this engine fuels their deck.
Do we have an example of an engine just so that I can like kind of quantify
well, I guess
this
Skull
a little
Clamp
bit?
could be part of an engine.
So like, let's say you've got like so if you have something like a Skull Clamp, which is definitely generating value from like, let's say like Mesa, what's that card that makes Pegasus?
I don't
Mesa,
remember.
Mesa something. Anyways, it's a white enchantment that for 1/1 white makes a 1/1 Pegasus, but you have to sacrifice a Pegasus at your upkeep. Mesa something. Anyways, if you have something like that where you're generating tokens really easily, and then so like 3 mana basically to draw 2 cards, it's pretty sweet. You have that over and over again, then yeah, you're going to obviously take out a part of that engine. That's an obvious engine. But then there's stuff like, some people have some stuff where it's like a graveyard recursion thing that isn't particularly like efficient on mana, but it is allowing them to stay in the game a lot. Like, even if it's something like a Carador deck where it's like, oh man, like this is tough to deal with because, we got to take out their sack outlet, but then we also have to like, we can't have Carador be coming around, right? So like, what do you I think in that case, it's like you have to take out the engine. You can't just deal with the threats that they keep putting out because otherwise it's going to keep coming.
The definition of an engine is the thing that keeps getting them more threats.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to deal with the engine, disrupt that engine, and then put your own threats down or have other ways to deal with the threats that they manage to have in their hand at the moment.
It's like we talk a lot about threat assessment, right? And when a big creature or something that's dealing a lot of damage is out, people take a notice to it right away. They know what they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. Engines are a little harder to identify because a lot of times you look over and this person's like dirtling a lot, but they're not doing anything to hurt me. So I often, in fact, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, I recognize that engine is good, but are they going to use what they get from that engine on me right away? It's like, not if I fly under the radar a little bit. Like, they'll probably just attack someone else, or they'll probably, point their whatever it is at someone else. So you got to try to get value out of that engine also.
Right, but just to play the other side of the debate, though, if you are on their side, but they have accrued so much value. By the time it's just you and them left, it might be too late. They might have way too much of an advantage.
That's happened to all of us in Commander. We all know that. We all know where we've partnered with someone who then gets out to a big start. You think you have the answer to their thing in your hand, so you're like, haha, no problem. And then you go to do it, and they just like either counter it, or they have something else that you didn't know about. Or it's too late. Or it's just too late, simply, yeah.
Like you've let that engine run rampant for far too long.
Yeah, definitely. We've all experienced that. It's
Kindred Discovery is a great engine piece. What I think you just draw on cards.
What I think you have to do is it's tough though. You have to convince the table to deal with an engine. It can't just be one person, because if I'm the one who expels my resources to deal with an engine, this player, the player who knows the engine's good, is like, oh, how dare you? This was doing nothing to hurt you.
Yeah.
And I know this because you do it all the time. I do it all the time.
All the time.
You're like, this was doing nothing to you. I was just simply drawing some cards.
Yeah.
I was simply gaining some life in my. If every time I gain life, it kills you deck. You know what I mean? Like, it was doing nothing to you. How dare you? You will pay for this. And it's like, like you're trying to, and then the other two people at the table are like, hey man, I didn't do anything. They're happy to see two people fight over that sort of thing. So, but if you can go like, hey, player A, player B, I'm player C, player D's engine is generating way too much value. As a team, we have to come together and agree that this has to be stopped. In which case, then it's kind of up to the other players. It's like, are you going to be the person who even puts that forward? Because that even just saying that is kind of like, this player's like, what? Why are you trying to gang up on me? Right. And then they turn that engine towards you, and you might be the person who suffers from it. That's the politics. That's the social game of it all coming into play.
Well, and I just want to I love the sticker metaphor, but I want to maybe close with this idea. Right? It's still January. Is it January when we release this? Anyway, it might be February when we release this. It's
February when this comes out.
But it's the new decade is still kind of fresh. It's about new beginnings and new philosophies, and I want to enjoy my stickers. It feels good to cast spells,
yes,
right?
It does.
I don't want to get knocked out of a Commander game with 3 removal spells in my hand, right? I want to have lived my life, to have cast my spells. I want to have, so even if I get mana screwed and I only do 3 things, if those 3 things are destroy some cool enchantments, I'm going to feel like I did something that game. I'm not going to let life pass me by waiting for a better thing. That's my philosophy.
You're going to do the move.
Do the move. Stick your stickers.
Stick your stickers. Do the move. I agree, and I think that again, this is where politics comes in a big way. If you are the player who wants to do the move, and you listen, man, we all know you got to destroy a skull clamp if a person's got a token deck roll.
You got to destroy a skull clamp.
It's too much. And guess what? This person knows too. The person who has a skull clamp knows. And so unless you're playing with an incredibly spiteful, really person who has no sense of humor. If you have a sense of humor, you're going to be spiteful as a joke. That's fine. But unless you're dealing with some unreasonable person, they know, and you're going to be like, look, man, it's a skull clamp. I can't just let you run wild with a skull clamp. You have to play it like that, and then the player might be like, okay, I'll remember it though. And that's all you can ask from a player where you've destroyed a key permanent of theirs, is for them to just not be so mad at you and try and kill you right away. If they're just like, okay, all right, but I'm going to get you back. It's like, okay, you know what? That's fair. That is fair, right? They're going to get you back. That's fair.
If you destroy a skull clamp and they're like, okay, but I'm going to get you back, I think the appropriate response is like to see you try and not draw any cards.
Whoa! Then you really get them inflamed, and then they just turn on you and just see, you don't want to do that.
Mistakes.
You don't want to make them mad at you. Just be like, hey, I'm sorry, but I have to do this,
Yeah.
No, this is cool. These are the key decisions in Commander. When are we going to use these things that are pointed at people? When are we going to disrupt the friendly politicking game? When are we going to start making enemies? When are we going to start using our stuff? It's fascinating every time.
Life's too short.
I love getting into it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Great stuff. All right. Let us know what you guys think about that. Let us know when you like to use your one-off removal spells. Let us know when you like to anger the player next to you and when it's worth it and when it's not. Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up in the comments. Great stuff. Okay. We will see everyone next week right here on the vlog. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you love what we're doing, consider supporting the show by going to patreon.com/commandersbrew.
And if you want to get any of the cards from our deck list, go to our TCGplayer affiliate link below.
That helps us out too. And for a free way to help us out, consider sharing the show with some friends. Like and subscribe, add a comment or two.
See you later.
Bye.